Coming into Mound Bayou is the highway, and over the first thing you'll see is the Billy Joe McCain Head Start Center, and then as you come in to town, the Delta Health Center, you'll see that, and this is the first rural health center in the country, Delta Health Center. Then as you keep further on into town, you'll come up on what used to be St. Gabriel's Catholic School and Church. Now it's St. Gabriel's Mercy Center, where you'll find a former church building where they utilize it for education and other things within the community. This place is it used to be the school. That place used to be the church. And across the street, across that field, is a compound of the same type of houses, but it is actually where the famous Peter's Pottery is, and where the Woods brothers and sisters stay on that same area. It's where Peter's Pottery is. St. Gabriel Mercy Center. This is where they're completing the food pantry and thrift store at St. Gabriel Mercy Center. Then you continue into town. And you drive on up to where the Mound Bayou City Hall, and on this side is where the police department and fire department. This is where the police department and the fire department is, and the fire department is, this is where the fire department is right here. And we drive on around to this side where the maintenance department of the city hall is, over here, and over on this side is where the entry is for the city hall side. Interesting enough, front of the city hall is where also, just a little added extra, is where the city hall has some things for people to read about the memory of who Mound Bayou really is. So this is something that's at the front of City Hall, and also built in 1972 is this wood sculpture. This wood piece of African Americans, famous African Americans, all across. Just for one, let's look at the staple singers. And Mavis is from Mound Bayou. First Baptist Church the first church in Mound Bayou, Mississippi. This is where Mound Bayou got started. First building or structure here was the actually the brush arbor. From Brush Arbor to Green Grove Baptist Church to First Baptist, and that's right here. This is the most historic African American street in the country, I believe. Leaving First Baptist, this is where Mound Bayou started. Ex-slaves got off the train and came over here and built the land up and cleared the land and drained the swamp. This is where the real swamp. And for your information, this home here was built by Brick Creek, from a Brick Creek factory right here in Mound Bayou, Mississippi. And this home is where I was brought up. It's my dad is still staying here now. He's 93 years old. 94 in May 2023. And this home, actually, the Brick Creek here was the Brick Creek factory that he helped get started was funded by Coretta Scott King. She helped fund this, and this is the home. And on up, right next here, is where this piece of property where this house sits now is where Charles Banks came and opened the first bank in Mound Bayou, the Mound Bayou State Bank. And it was on this property here that he started, and where Theodore Roosevelt got off the train and looked up and down the road and called Mound Bayou the Jewel of Delta. He saw big houses with big white picket fences and all, and he called Mound Bayou the Jewel of the Delta. So we're back here at this corner of West Main and Martin Luther King. On this very corner where the house is not there anymore is where the third general president of Alpha Phi Alpha, and one of the ones that was instrumental in working with Alpha Phi Alpha getting started, is Frederick H. Miller home. And the next home is the home right here, is the home of B.H. Creswell, one of the mayors of Mound Bayou. I think he was like the third mayor of Mound Bayou. And this is where the downtown of Mound Bayou used to be, right here. And on this corner in this building, it was a hotel here, and that was the famous hotel where black people could check in, and running from anywhere to get safety, they could check in here and you wouldn't see them anymore. Of course, across the street was where the train station was, and so somehow we call this where the Underground Railroad. And this building is still here. This is building that I referenced, the bank building here, which is now being, there's a grant that's helping get the bank building back up to par. This was built in 1909 by Booker T. Washington, actually by Charles Banks, who was inspired by Booker T. Washington and the National Negro Business League, which Charles Banks became what they called the chief lieutenant of the Washington team. And here is coming up on either T. Montgomery's home. It is definitely a 4th floor, including the basement home, and the homes were built on this style up and down this road as well. And so you have that one, the Montgomery home, which there's a $2 million grant actually there, and his daughter's home actually Mary Montgomery Booz. This was the house that she built with her husband, and this house is being restored at the same time as well, and there's a plaque in front of it. These are most historic Dr. T.R.M. Howard also at one point owned this home too, and then built a bunch of homes down this way in the midst of the 50s, when people wouldn't do things like this. Of course, this is right on the train track. So what I'm gonna do is go across the train track and go up here, because this also is where Medgar Evers stayed in this area, and I'm gonna take you where he stayed. So this is the area where Medgar Evers stayed and where he worked. He worked right here at Magnolia Mutual Life Insurance Company. This sign is hidden behind these magnolia trees here, and we are actually getting up an effort to get this sign restored or recreated, whichever comes first. And actually in this area is where the home where they stayed, the area is where they stayed also. This is downtown Mound Bayou now. To the left coming up would be the post office area. To the right would be where Bethel AME Church is located. And this was actually bustling downtown at one time. People walked up and down the streets buying things. The post office is here. And of course, these are our buildings. Mount Olive MB Church over to my right, and community store here. This is the famous Taborian Hospital we're coming up on. And across from it is the front of Mount Olive Church, and right next to it is the elementary school, Isaiah T. Montgomery Elementary School, and across from it is that the administration building for Knights and Daughters of Tabor. And I'm showing you here Taborian Hospital building, and this right across is where the Mound Bayou Museum is. This is the back of the museum. Of course, this is a bank building here. Now, all of this across here is where T.R.M. Howard had all of his businesses and other things and so forth. Where the Friendship Clinic was, the Olympic-sized swimming pool, the zoo, the Blue Parrot Inn. It's a powerful entrepreneur. So this is the bank that's right near the museum, and of course this is the administration building for the high school, and well, actually all of the schools in North Bolivar District. It is now the office part. It used to be the high school, John F. Kennedy High School. This is again where the museum is. Coming up on the commercial, the industrial side, specifically used to be the industrial side of town, right down the street from where we left is this is where cotton, the cotton was ginned. These are the remnants of the cotton gins right here. That one, and then this one on this side, remnants of the cotton gin. And the last place I'm gonna take you is Peter's Pottery, which is straight ahead here. If I keep going, we'll come up on Peter's Pottery. So this is the homes of most of the Woods. And this little place here is the pottery, actually.